Hi, this is Austin with Radical STEM Tutoring, and today we're going to solve a navigation problem using vectors. So, in a lot of intro physics classes, you're going to have to learn how to use vectors, and this is a classic type of problem to get you acclimated to using vectors in calculations. So let's say this boat is setting out to sail for a destination up here that is 60 kilometers away, but right when they start, a terrible wind blows them 50 kilometers off course. So, now we need to know how far does he have to travel and what direction does he have to travel. Okay, so you might notice that when I redrew this, I marked D, the direction that we're going to travel, as a vector. Because what we're going to do is construct a vector, or if we start at the point where the boat is blown away to, we can just follow that vector and end up at our destination. So, we know that D is a vector. It's going to have an X component and a Y component. Now to get to where we want to go, we need to undo the 50 kilometers that we traveled. If we say that this is in west is negative, we would need to travel a positive 50 kilometers to undo being blown off course. This is going to be 50 in our x direction, and then we still need to go 60 kilometers north to get to our destination. So in our y component, we're going to have 60. Now to find the length of this vector, what we're going to do is say that the distance we have to travel, the magnitude of this vector, is equal to both of these components, 50 plus 60. Each one is squared, and then we're going to take the square root. Now you might notice this is kind of like the Pythagorean theorem because it's exactly that. If we made a triangle where we just said this is D, this is 50, and this is 60, then the Pythagorean theorem would tell us D squared equals 50 squared plus 60 squared. So if we just take the square root of both sides, that's exactly where this formula comes from. And if we calculate that out, we find that the distance we will have to travel is 78.1 kilometers. Now we need to know what direction we're going to travel. The easiest way to do that would be to give a direction in relation to one of the cardinal directions. We know that we're going to travel east and north, so why don't we give our direction in relation to east? So if this is due east, then we'll have some angle alpha here, and we can say that we'll be alpha degrees north of east is our direction of travel. So, how can we find that? Well, let's draw that triangle again. Now you can use any trig function you want to find this angle alpha, but I'm going to use the tangent function. Remember from our SOHCAHTOA, tangent relates the opposite side from the angle to the adjacent side. So that means tangent of alpha will equal the opposite 60 over the adjacent 50. Now, how do we actually solve for alpha here? Well, we're going to do something called an inverse function. We're going to take the tangent inverse of both sides. Now, if we take inverse tangent, we just write it as tangent with a negative 1 of tangent of alpha. Well, that's the tangent inverse and the tangent are just going to undo each other. So all we'll get out is alpha, and that will equal the inverse tangent of 60 over 50. So that tells us that alpha is, if we run this out on our calculator, we'll find that it is 50.2 degrees north of east. And there we go. So we're going to travel 78.1 kilometers, headed 50.2 degrees north of due east, and that'll get us to our destination. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like it and share it. Have a good day.